Double Busters!
My name is Adam. I'm the manager of a family restaurant. Headquarters made me reduce the number of part-timers working late-night shifts, so I'm working every day instead. The world is so cruel. Our pay doesn't increase when we work late nights. Even if we're full-time. It's too unfair. It's horrible. Just when I was thinking that, a customer arrived. Welcome! I went to the entrance to guide them to their seats and noticed something was off immediately. There was an elder woman wearing really flashy clothes, but she was with a younger woman who was wearing shabby and torn clothing and a small child. Why are they here so late? Could they be ghosts? Oh, I hate horror stories.
Excuse me? Why are you staring? It's cold, so can you take us to our seats?
Oh, I'm sorry. Please, sit wherever you like. Oh, thank God, they're real people. But why are they here so late? Did something happen? I'm here to take your order.
I'd like the Hamburg steak and one children's lunch plate. That's all.
Huh?
What?
What will this customer have?
It's fine, she doesn't need anything.
That's a lie. She was looking at the menu. Yikes, this is the first time I've seen bullying like this. Pardon me, we ask that each customer makes one order.
Huh? What? What kind of rule is that?
Then, could I have some warm soup?
No, you only get water.
But I've been outside all this time. I'm very cold.
You have no right to complain. I was outside too.
But...
Then shake some salt into the water. Here you go, salt water.
That's too harsh.
Waiter, I'd like you to put some salt into this water. And bring me some salt water.
I'm afraid we don't have anything like that on our menu. It'll have to be something printed on this menu here.
A parfait for dessert. Then this. That makes 3 items. Happy?
When I glanced at the young woman, she was staring into her lap. It seems that they're mother and daughter-in-law. The younger woman couldn't argue back at all. And I felt so bad for her. I wanted to do something to help her. But I couldn't stick my nose into their business. I had no choice but to take down their order and leave their table. Understood. But their situation still bothered me. So I pretended to wipe the tables nearby and listen in on their conversation.
Lucy, let's get back to our conversation. It's your fault that my son is out having an affair and won't come back.
I understand, so can we stop now? I don't want to have this conversation in front of my daughter.
What the hell does a 3-year-old understand? The most she can understand is Sesame Street and Winnie the Pooh.
That's nonsense. Please stop.
No, I won't stop. You were trying to run away from the conversation when we were talking outside too. You said you were cold, so I brought you here. You should be thankful.
If we're outside for 5 hours midwinter, it's only natural a child would get cold.
You always use your daughter as an excuse. You just wanted to warm up yourself, didn't you? Always complaining that you're hungry and such. What kind of mother are you if you're so greedy?
I was surprised. It seems that her mother-in-law had been lecturing her out in this cold for 5 hours. On top of that, it was about how her son's affair was the young woman's fault. The mother-in-law was wearing suitable clothing, but the young woman was wearing only shabby, ripped clothing.
Then please let me have a divorce.
What are you talking about? In front of your own child?
I haven't received any money for my own needs.
What? Are you complaining that my son isn't making enough money?
That's not what I mean.
Then why don't you work?
The baby's on its way.
Huh?
What?
I'm sorry. The mother-in-law glared at me, and I ran away to the kitchen. As I was leaving, I glanced at the young woman's belly and saw that it was ever so slightly rounded. Her arms and legs were thin, so once I heard that she was pregnant, it made sense. But wait, pregnant? In the cold? Anyway, I brought the hamburg steak and the children's plate to their table. If you'd like, I have something for you. I can't bring salt water, but here's some lightly salted seaweed soup. I'm such a genius. I placed the soup in front of the young woman.
What?
We had some leftovers, so if she doesn't mind that, it's on the house.
We don't need it. I can't believe it. She's tried to seduce you too. This vile woman.
That wasn't my intention.
Enough. This is none of your business.
She was right. It was none of my business. I had no right to say anything. But the young woman had gone pale, and she was trembling. When I tried to go back to the kitchen, I heard a child scream. I rushed back and found the young woman had collapsed, as though she were in pain. She was holding her belly. Are you okay? What should I do? I panicked, but when I looked at the mother-in-law's way, I was shocked. She was eating her hamburg steak, as though nothing had happened. Furthermore, she was handling the fork and knife as though she thought this were a world-class restaurant. Excuse me, what are you doing?
What? I'm eating.
Can't you see what's going on? Are you an idiot?
What? I'm a customer! You can't speak to me like that.
I realized that there was no point talking to her. Somebody call an ambulance!
You're over-exaggerating.
What's wrong with this woman? She's not human. I can't believe people like this exist. What a horrible day. It's okay. We've called an ambulance.
My baby is...
Huh?
Help me.
A puddle of water formed on the floor. Huh? Is this... her water broke? What do I do? The young woman was in pain, and the daughter was crying her eyes out. The late-night family restaurant had become a war zone. I'll say it again. What a horrible day! The ambulance arrived, and the young woman was taken to the hospital. The mother-in-law didn't go with her, even though her grandchild was about to be born. I left the restaurant to the other staff and got onto the ambulance. I somehow asked for her husband's name and found his number in her phone, but he didn't pick up. What the hell is up with this family? We reached the hospital, and after a while, the young woman's mother came. I explained the situation and returned to work. According to the staff, the woman had eaten everything, plus the parfait, and gone home. I seriously can't believe it. A few weeks later, that mother-in-law arrived once more. This time, she was with a man. They were linking arms, so they must have been close. Huh, her husband?
Fuyuhiko, I'm glad I was able to see you today. It's been so long.
Next time, we should go see a movie, Yoko.
I'm so happy.
Her attitude's completely different. I could tell that they weren't husband and wife from their conversation. They were either going out, or the mother-in-law was interested in him. I felt like being mean. Right. Now's my chance. Time for the Trouble Busters! Have you decided on your order?
2 hamburg steaks.
Understood. Oh, did your daughter-in-law give birth safely?
Huh? Yes, she did.
Do you know each other?
Well, her daughter-in-law's water broke here.
Really? That must have been very nerve-wracking.
Yes, I'm single, so I had no idea what to do.
She was lucky she was with you, Yoko.
Yes.
What?
Huh?
She was eating her hamburg steak while her daughter-in-law was collapsed on the floor. And so elegantly.
No way.
What are you talking about? You shouldn't lie about things like that.
Everyone was watching you. I mean, the reason why she collapsed was because you made her stand out in the freezing cold for 5 hours, right?
Is that true?
No, of course I wouldn't do something like that. You better stop talking right now.
What's more, she was telling the pregnant lady to drink just water. She couldn't even have a mouthful of soup. The man called Fuyuhiko was speechless, even in the ambulance.
Wait, you got onto the ambulance too?
Yep, because she was still eating.
You didn't get on?
That's...
She didn't. I went to the hospital with her daughter-in-law because she had a small child with her. Also, I couldn't get through to her husband.
Husband? Does he mean Makoto?
Oh, do you know him?
He's my subordinate.
This woman laid her hands on her son's boss.
How could you do that?
Oh, sorry. You're not this lady's husband. I thought you knew everything. Pardon me.
No, thank you for telling me.
After that, I left their table. They seemed to be arguing about something, and the mother-in-law soon ran out, crying. The man ate both of the meals elegantly and left the restaurant. A few months later, their family split in two. The husband's affair was found out by his company, and he was demoted. The daughter-in-law was able to receive plenty of compensation for the treatment she endured from her mother. And because her husband had limited the money she could spend. I know all of this because after the divorce was decided, she came to visit me at this restaurant. Her name was Lucy. At first, she came to thank me, but now she's become a regular, and we talk a lot. Her kids are so cute. I can't help but hold them. I hope they come to visit me tomorrow too. Trouble Busters!